A true gift, Senges Kibrisli. I still remember the day we decorated the house. I was 10 and it was 2 weeks before Christmas. I remember that I felt like a long journey of waiting and despair will finally come to an end. A new year was about to begin, and all of the bad memories will become the past as they never happened. I was looking forward to my presents. I was about to receive not only the gifts but also the strong feeling of being loved and cared for. Since I'm the youngest in the family, all of the family members would give me a gift one way or another. Sometimes it was a cookie or a hug, but it was always there. I was the only center of attention and it was feeling good. My uncles usually would ask me what I want before Christmas, and that year I knew what I want. It was the spaceship I saw in the ads. I was dreaming of opening a big gift box, and it was there. The thing about gifts is that they are magical even if you know what you'll get. I never want to go to a toy shop with my dad and buy it. I wanted it to magically appear in our home in a gift box. A gift makes you surprised and catches you off guard. That was what I wanted, but that year it came in a way that I wasn't expecting. It was 2 weeks before Christmas. Just 2 weeks. She couldn't wait. My dear mother came to the kitchen to tell my father that it is time. He freaked out for a couple of seconds, and then we went to the hospital. After an hour they told me that I have a sister now. But I didn't want a sister. I wanted a spaceship. The next few days went so fast. No one was caring about me. Everyone was talking about her, and I knew that my life is never going to be the same ever again. I wasn't ready to grow up, to be a big brother. But it just happened in an instant. Christmas came early that year. Everyone was calling, visiting, and sending gifts. But all of them were about her. Even my uncles didn't ask me anything about the gift. I accepted that I lost, and she won. I thought I also caused similar attention when I was born, but now I was too old. On the day before Christmas, everyone was in our home. I still remember the people that I loved most talking only about my newborn sister. My family was becoming hers. I want to vanish her like these crazy times never happened. She stole everything I've ever had, my life and presents, and it was feeling like this was never going to change. Thinking about this, I cried to sleep. At night I had a nightmare. Shadows were all around me, and I was defenseless and so weak. When I woke up, I ran into my parents' bedroom but couldn't wake up my poor parents. They were tired and cuddled like they don't want to wake up for years. But I couldn't control my fear. I was standing near their bed trying not to tremble and cry. In the moments I was attempting to wake up my mother, I saw her. She was awake and looking at me with her big eyes in her cradle. It was another night I was scared a lot and I was alone again. But this time I wasn't all alone because she was there. A car's shadow came into the bedroom and I was even more scared. Then she started crying, and I was not the youngest in the room for the first time. A little, fragile newborn baby was possibly scared more than me. I thought that she must be feeling like what I felt in my dream. I felt like I should comfort her. I should fight with the shadows and make sure that they don't hurt her like in my dream. I should be the big brother everyone expected me to be. I forgot that I was also scared, and probably more than her. I whispered things I want to hear to her as she cries. But trying to comfort her made me feel stronger. I touched her for the first time. After seconds she stopped crying, but one more thing also happened. I wasn't scared anymore. I felt like I should be strong and fearless to protect her. But more importantly, I realized that she was the one who protected me eventually. After the following days, something slowly changed inside me. The feeling of loneliness was replaced by the responsibility of being an older brother. I wanted to care her for at any cost. I don't remember the gifts that I received this year, even anything about that spaceship. All of a sudden they become meaningless to me. I got the best gift I could ever imagine. Thanks to her, I learned a lot about life, love, and what really matters over the years. Loving someone who needs me prepared me for life. Giving my strength made me stronger, and giving my love made me peaceful that no toy or any kind of material will ever can. Even in the hardest times, I learned how much my parents sacrificed for me. I received the feeling of being loved and cared for over that gift, and it was with me when I got bullied, moved to a new place, or scared for the rest of my life. The best parts in me were revealed with her birth and reflected with her laugh. We don't choose our real gifts in life, they happen in an instant and don't wait for us to be ready or for Christmas to come, but if we choose to accept them, realize them, and protect them at any cost, they become our everything and the best gift we can ever get. Nocturne by Guadalupe Telcantar. Damien sat with his legs dangling over the edge of the rocking deck of the ship, holding onto the lower rung of the metal railing and gazing at the horizon. The waning sunset was a blaze of glorious color, the drifting clouds purple against the red western sky, with the swells of the Atlantic Ocean sapphire blue beneath. The old adage, red sky at night, sailor's delight, bobbed to the surface of his thoughts. As stars materialized in the darkling eastern sky, Damien headed below deck, occasionally steadying himself with the rails lining the narrow hallways and stairs of the Jacques-Yves Cousteau. If the weather stayed clear, both of his parents would be busy tomorrow. He'd left them doing their preparation checks to watch the sunset before going to bed. When he reached his deck, something was wrong. The hallway beyond the stairs was dark. The overhead lights weren't even flickering. Strange. Too bad he didn't have a flashlight with him. Running a hand along the wall, Damien counted doors until he reached the cabin he was sharing with his mom. He left the door open as he went in, but it didn't help. The light from the stairwell didn't reach this far, and the walls were devoid of windows. Envisioning his path to the drawers under the lower bunk, he fumbled forward, intending to find his headlamp until the ship pitched and his shins slammed into something. Damien staggered a few steps, then doubled over in pain, groaning and hissing through his teeth, blind in the dark. Something clammy wrapped around his bare ankle. Yagh. He jumped, collided with something hard, and fell to the floor. Footsteps approached in the hallway, and a light flashed in his face. "You okay?" The light pointed down, and he could see who was holding it. Nicholas Bradshaw, Dad's friend. An octopus scientist. What was the word Dad used? Teuthologist. His brown beard looked like a pirate captain's. "What happened?" Rubbing his head, the teenager said, "Something grabbed my ankle." Nicholas knelt beside the bunks, his flashlight playing across the drawers. One was open, and something red was hanging out of it. The red thing squirmed in the light. "There you are," he exclaimed, pulling the drawer farther open. "Here's the monster under your bed," he said, glancing at Damien with a grin. Damien peered over the burly man's shoulder. At first, he couldn't comprehend what he was seeing. A writhing, slithering mass of thick, red tendrils spotted with white flowed around the inside of the drawer. Then a bulbous head that looked as big as his own reared up. An octopus. He shuddered and took a step back. What a monster. Kraken's a big guy, but he's hardly a monster. He's not even full grown yet. Nicholas began gathering the octopus into a bundle, scooping its tentacles together even as they spilled out like water. Frustrated after several fruitless attempts to corral it with one hand, he looked up at Damien and held out the flashlight. "Would you mind helping me?" Damien took it and watched as his dad's friend lifted the octopus into the air, higher and higher. The snaking appendages with their constellation-like pattern of white spots seemed never-ending. It had to be at least a yard long. "Follow me," Nicholas grunted, still trying to cradle all of the arms as he went out the door. Damien complied, pointing the flashlight around and ahead of the teuthologist and his charge. Walking along the hall, he noticed a wet trail on the floor. Finally, Nicholas turned aside through an open door into a room with a large fish tank on a low table. There were no fish swimming in it. "Could you take the lid off?" And the man clutched at the octopus kraken as it oozed out of his arms. "Sorry, he's a handful. Will you help me put him back into the tank?" Damien lifted the lid and set it on a table. He put the flashlight down, balancing it on its thick handles so it pointed at the ceiling. He didn't want to touch the octopus, but it probably wasn't good for it to be out like this if it lived in the water. He came close, hesitantly stretching his hands out. Would he hurt it? "I'll hold his mantle, you support his legs. Okay, don't squeeze them." Damien tried not to flinch as the undulating arms came in contact with his skin. They felt strange, soft but strong as they wrapped around his own arms, the suckers tickling slightly. "In we go." Nicholas heaved the floppy head up and over the edge of the aquarium, Damien just a little slower on his end. The octopus sank slowly to the bottom, arms outspread. It was a dark, saturated shade of red, with white spots swirling across its body like living stars. As Damien watched, the red changed, turning paler, with more orange in it, like the sky before he'd come below. Kraken was less startling now, and didn't seem so monstrous. Only different. Not the same as him. "Phew, thanks for your help." Nicholas replaced the lid. "You're Damien, right? Roberto's kid?" "Yeah." Flipping a light switch up and down, Damien asked, "Why do you think the power's out?" Nicholas grinned. "Kraken did it." "What? How?" "See that tube there coming out the bottom of his head? That's his siphon. He squirts water out of it to swim, but he can also squirt it into the air. Look." Nicholas grabbed the flashlight and pointed it up at the light fixtures, then down at the floor. Damien could see the puddle beneath. "He's done it before," Nicholas continued. "But I thought I'd outsmarted him with the tank lid this time. I guess I didn't." He put the top back on the aquarium. "Are you helping your parents with the ROVs?" "No. I'm not 18 yet, so some other people don't want me on the back deck. They think I'll just be in the way during the deployments and retrievals." He watched Kraken stream out of sight under a rock in the tank. "Would you be interested in helping me take care of Kraken? More people engaging with him will keep him from getting bored, and then he'll hopefully stop looking for his own fun." "Sure. I wouldn't mind." From the way Damien was staring, mesmerized, at Kraken, Nicholas had an inkling that the Callictoctopus macropus would be getting a lot more attention in the near future. You're Just So Intolerant by Wendy M. I've thought about it, and it's chocolate. Well, that sounds good to me. Thought about what? What you asked me earlier, chocolate. It's a universal panacea. I didn't ask what is a universal panacea. I asked what is a universal panacea. It's all in the inflection and the emphasis. Oh, well, you obviously inflected in the wrong place. That's so you. Nice pajamas, by the way. Are you comfy? Yes, thanks. I could have slept on the air bed. I didn't mind. I like your gym jams too, cute little bears. So what is it then? I'm so glad you asked. It's the cure for all ills. Everything. Pain, sorrow, illness, World War III, the lot. I thought about it for a couple of hours and it's definitely chocolate. Does the United Nations know about this? Or the World Health Organization? Hang on, Kim Jong, don't invade anyone today. Have a bit of chocolate. Don't get your COVID-27 jab. Have a bit of chocolate instead. Do you really think chocolate solves everything? Well, it does for me. Remember when I scraped my first car? I cried for a week, but Kit Kat got me through it. And when Dan left, it was M&M's. You sobbed and snorted in the bag. It was disgusting. I still ate them. It made me realize I loved M&Ms more than I loved Dan. He tried to come back, but I was stronger then. And he brought flowers from a petrol station. Cheapskate. That's hardly universal though, is it? Just you, and were they the peanut ones? I mean, does that even count as chocolate? And why is it universal and not a world panacea? What works on Earth might not do much on Jupiter, or Alpha Centauri, or the Crab Nebula. Do you want that pillow? I could do with another. Oh, you didn't need to throw it. It's good though, you've got to admit it. If someone or something did turn up from Orion's belt, you'd give them a crunchy. They'd love it and not invade Earth because they're full of peace and joy and Cadbury's. It's the pheromones. I think you mean endorphins. What if it's Hershey's? Or Nestle? Ooh, or Belgian chocolate, like those little seahorses and seashells with praline in the middle. Now you're just being pedantic. Mind you, I'd invade Earth for Belgian chocolate seashells with praline, or those hazelnut noisettes. What time do you have to go in the morning? My train is at 9, so set the alarm for 7, would you please? Sorry that's early, but I'll have time for Cocoa Pops before I go. Get my endorphins going. I'm not invading anywhere tomorrow. Haha, you're good. But anyway, I'm right, aren't I? Everyone loves chocolate. What if you're dairy or lactose intolerant? Really, like 2 or 3 people? 42 million, although most of them don't know it. You're blowing my mind. They still love chocolate though. Endorphinately, I hate you. You'll miss me when I'm gone. I'm ignoring that, okay. So it's a universal panacea for everyone who isn't dairy or lactose intolerant. Or diabetic. I'm starting to remember why I left home. Or gluten-free. Oh come on. A little bit won't hurt. Don't go there, I was sick for a fortnight last time. There's no gluten in chocolate. Is Mom picking you up from the station? I have a birthday present for her if you'd take it. You don't read labels, do you? Think about the Kit Kat. Yes, I can take it. What is it? Chocolate. Funny. Okay, so we're settled. Chocolate is a universal panacea for anyone who isn't diabetic, or dairy, lactose, or gluten intolerant. Are you happy now? You're forgetting soya. It's an allergen. What? Are you kidding? There's soya in chocolate? So far as I'm concerned, chocolate is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, not 42. Douglas Adams just had the wrong computer program running. But the best punchlines. I can't believe we're arguing over this. Who's arguing? You said chocolate, and I just pointed out you were wrong. Yep, you love doing that. I'm your sister, you should know by now, it's compulsory. You'll miss me when I'm gone. I'm still ignoring that. Why did you ask anyway? It's not your usual dinner table conversation. It's usually strange things. You mean, Stranger Things. I know what I meant. Gee, thanks. Dad said to Mom, wine is a universal panacea. I wondered what he meant. Wine. What's he talking about? Was he drunk? There's sulfites in wine. And hangovers. And what about the Baptists? Or the population of Yemen? Yemen? We went to see that film, Salmon Fishing in the Yemen. I know. You ate my popcorn and drooled over you and McGregor. Yumminess, don't drink alcohol. Oh God. Nope, forget God. There's been too many religious wars. Religion always kills someone. I wasn't suggesting God as a universal panacea. I was drooling over you and McGregor again. Although God is more universal than chocolate, I guess. Stop pulling faces. What's your beef? No good. You've just alienated the vegans, vegetarians, and pescatarians. And probably a few Sagittarians. That's part man, part horse, not cow. You're nuts. Nuts. They're an allergen and a choking hazard. You can't open a bag of peanuts on a plane anymore, not if there's a passenger with allergies. Did you know? Pfft. I'm going to choke you in a minute, or smother you with this pillow, or let the air out of that mattress. Tough guy. Says who? Sesame. Haha, do you fancy a hot chocolate drink before you go to sleep? And yes, sweetie, I will miss you when you're gone. Sleep, that's it. That's the universal panacea. Everyone sleeps, and like Mum says, it always looks better in the morning. Go tell the world. Not if you've got sleep apnea. Oh no, get off, get off. Night sis. Thanks for letting me stay.